probably well known. I hope that some of you guys have come across us. Essentially, we are a bunch of ninja lawyers, and in the past we have worked for clients in Guantanamo. Very sadly, we still work for clients in Guantanamo. But you may be thinking, why are we moving on from Guantanamo to drones and extrajudicial killing? The secret lies with this avuncular-looking gentleman, whose name is Mike Mukasey. He is the Attorney General, or was the Attorney General to George Bush, and he said to us when we were defending our clients in Guantanamo, he said, if you stop us from interrogating and detaining, both polite words for what was going on, these people, we're just going to kill them. And that is what is happening now. Under Obama, drone strikes have increased exponentially, and whilst Guantanamo is not shut yet, there are no new people arriving in Guantanamo. That does not mean that the people who would be arriving in Guantanamo are being ignored. The CIA is not on holiday. These people are still being attacked, and specifically, in this case, wiped out. And I had an issue with due process, or the lack thereof, in relation to Guantanamo. That lack of due process is going on to the power of 10 with drone attacks, because whilst the due process in Guantanamo was not great, there was at least a hearing, and evidence was at least tested a little bit, whereas obviously with drone attacks, the intelligence that is being used is not being tested at all. It is simply being used to direct missiles, drones towards countries, and people are then wiped out. Now, I think drones have actually had pretty good PR, I have to say. Quite a lot of people who I talk to, hopefully not the people in this room, but quite a lot of people say, well, drones actually sound like quite a good idea. And I think that is because they've had good PR, they've had good press, and that press has essentially said, well, we can do this without getting boots on the ground, and these are surgical strikes which simply take out bad guys, and what's not to like? I think there's quite a bit not to like, and there are 4 specific things that I'm going to talk about very briefly. Sadly not 3, because I think 3 is a good number, but so the first one is the concept of intelligence. So the intelligence that was relied upon to put people in Guantanamo was absolutely pitiful. I mean, we saw it firsthand, and it's not to say that everybody in Guantanamo was innocent, they weren't, but a surprising number were, and it was because very poor intelligence was relied upon. And that same intelligence is being used in these drone attacks, and the problem with that, as I say, is that it's completely untested. So there's the due process argument. There's also the fact that these drone attacks are not surgical. The information that comes out is that al-Awlaki is killed. Several actually high-ranking Al-Qaeda people seem to be killed several times, which is problematic. But the point is that they're not surgical, and that whilst maybe some people who are meant to be killed are killed, also many people who have nothing to do with Al-Qaeda or terrorism are also killed. Then there's a thing which sort of follows on from that, which is radicalization. Again, there are ties with the Guantanamo experience here. George Bush was Al-Qaeda's greatest recruiting sergeant in terms of what went on in Guantanamo, in terms of what went on in the prisons like Abu Ghraib, and the same thing is happening with the policy of drones. The problem is that people who really have nothing against the West, if they are living in a village which is hovered over by drones day and night for a particular period of time, are going to start thinking that we are less and less attractive as entities. Finally, there's the fact that these drones are not operated by the military, they're operated by the intelligence services. And interestingly, we have sort of unlikely allies in the military on this project. In that, there was this fascinating article in the San Francisco Chronicle, I think, where a drones operator gets up in the morning, kisses his wife, takes his kid to school, and then sits in front of a console all day with a kind of joystick, killing people thousands or hundreds of thousands of miles away. And it doesn't feel very much like a civil society. So, we get to the exciting bit. What are we doing? Reprieve is doing kind of what Reprieve does best. And I was really delighted to hear what Peter was saying earlier about shining a light. Basically, we thought with secret prisons and with Guantanamo, if we open it up, they'll close it down. And it's the thing that Reprieve does really, really well. We find out stuff and we bring it out into the open air, and generally speaking, everybody thinks that's a terrible idea, and politicians are then embarrassed into doing something about it. We are putting people on the ground in Pakistan and Waziristan, and we want to now put people on the ground in Yemen. No other NGO is doing this. All of the other NGOs said to us, you won't be able to do this. In the pilot project in Pakistan, we got 75 people who'd been affected by drone attacks in Waziristan to come and give witness statements to us. It's fair to say that I personally didn't go and do that, but we had a project where people on the ground could reach out to those communities. The reason that Corey Kreider, my amazing secret prisons director, is not here right now is that she, 31 years old, is in Yemen right now, putting together a team of people who will reach out to the affected communities in Yemen and find the evidence that we need to bring accountability actions and to bring this practice out into the open. £5,000 will get us a leader of that team, an amazing woman who is Yemeni and who will coordinate the team. £8,000 extraordinarily would get us the entire team. Is that my second bell? Does that mean I'm finished? Okay, that's what I want. Thank you.